How women shame men with the phrase emotional intelligence. This is from Brother Trev Smooth. You made it, brother. You went viral, Trev.
Talk about emotional intelligence and how women weaponize this buzz term to shame men into submission. First, let's define emotional intelligence, which is the capacity to be aware of, control, and express one's emotions and to handle interpersonal relationships judicially and empathetically. 9 out of 10 times when you require empathy is when you're dealing with the person who has a problem. So in other words, women are shaming men for having a deficiency and navigating their deficiencies. Women dealing with trauma, women who've dealt with many partners, women who embrace modern day feminism, all require emotional intelligence. You can go grab a degree in psychology or avoid these women entirely. And I know there's some of you who are listening slow and would like to still believe that it's men's fault relationships are failing. Don't believe me, just watch. Marriages between men and women hover around a 50% success rate. Here's what I found that's interesting. Marriages between man and man have a 75% success rate. Marriages with women on women have a 25% success rate, which is a 75% failure rate? How is it possible that two emotionally intelligent beings have 3 times the failure rate of men who lack emotional intelligence? It's probably not a coincidence that when you average these two marital rates together, you get precisely what the marital rate is between men and women. Could it be that women are responsible for the failures in marriage? Could it be that women have been projecting their dysfunction onto men this entire time? I'll let you be the judge down below. Stay hungry, my friends. Never thirsty.
All right. Let's go ahead and get into it. How women shame men with the phrase emotional intelligence. I'm going to go ahead and go to you first, Marcus. What are your thoughts about that, sir?
Let's see. So barring them stats seem accurate, right? I know you did your research, and I'm glad you went viral too, Trail. I disagree though, bro. Because the way I view relationships is that the man would be the leader of that relationship, right? So he would be setting the tone for how things are supposed to flow within a relationship. And in doing so, you will emotionally regulate what's going on within a relationship. So you kind of like what did Judge Lynn told, I think she said it. She was like, her man was a 6'4" living bottle of Prozac. So she'll bring her problems to him and she could walk away feeling soothed. She would come to him crying, and he could make her feel more confident or make her feel safe and secure. Being as how we in that role in a relationship that in my opinion, is effective. It requires a amount of emotional intelligence that you know how to navigate the problems, because we're supposed to be problem solvers by nature. So I get your point though. If we were to say that men are not the leader, then you 100% right. But if we're gonna assume a role as a leader, I think it falls on us to understand how to navigate that. Understand effective communication and getting people to a place you need them to be in the best way possible.
All right. Hey, Trev, you said he disagreed with you. You want to go ahead and further explain?
Well, yeah, fortunately, at this point, I don't have to question about what the message was. Shout out to you, Lapeef, for throwing that up there. So what I say is this, man. The main idea of it, right, is that there's a lot of videos, there's a lot of talk about men needing to possess emotional intelligence. And of course, as humans, we have to have a certain amount to, no matter what, just to function as normal human beings. But there's plenty of cases where men are receiving the blame for a lot of problems in the relationship, right? And when you're asking someone for emotional intelligence, right, when you're saying that, it's because you are dealing with someone else's issues that they have, right? So basically, the more suitable my partner is, the more together they are, the less emotional intelligence will be required from the opposite partner. That would go both ways for men and women, right? That was my main point. And the fact that their stats are so bad when you're talking about women who are supposed to be emotionally intelligent, that's what really caught my attention, because I'm like, okay, so you are supposed to be the ones who are sensitive to other people's needs, who are nurturers and everything else. But then what you're stating isn't correct, because if that were the case, you can't even stay with each other. You're supposed to understand each other, and you can't. But then now men, they are. And I wasn't trying to promote those types of relationships. I brought that just simply to depict, the stats between men and women. And men are performing by themselves 3 times greater than women are as far as marriages are concerned. And I didn't think it was a coincidence that when you put the two together, that the averages come just about 50%, which is where the marital rate is. So in my opinion, I felt like females were bringing bad stats to a relationship and bringing the numbers down.
I think that reinforces. So the research to me indicates that if the men, I'm not promoting that either, but if the men in the relationship get together, it's because they have the energy, the masculine energy that would tone set and be able to kind of emotionally regulate the relationship. So it would make more sense to me in the way that I view the world, that the men who we would assume to do that would have a better chance of doing that, and the women who we would assume would not be doing that would have a lower chance of doing that. It makes perfect sense actually with what I'm saying, but it's all how you interpret it, because this is from my worldview perspective, right? So as a leader, being with somebody that, like, part of being a leader is understanding how to follow too, right? So
I think that's a good point. That's a good point. I was just about to say that. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So I think all the math falls perfectly in line with that. Kennedy, what's going on?
Yeah, I think, I was looking at the numbers. Just the numbers stick out to me. I'm just a numbers type of dude. But and when I think about the numbers, I do think about just what I believe, and it's about leadership. So in order to lead, when I've been an athlete my life, and I've been on, teams, and I have to lead teams and lead meetings and lead this. It's like you have to understand who's in the room and take a back seat sometimes on all other individuals to be able to speak, or again put their value on the table and be able to dissect it. And that goes back to your point, Trev, is that men get the blame because we have to do that process and then be able to make a decision. And because when we gotta be seen as the ones that make the decision as the leader, right? We always gonna take the blame. Like that's how it goes. Like, and I think, but it does. And to the numbers, I think it makes sense as to why the numbers look like that, because leaders know how to move and work as a team. You feel me? And not saying that women don't, but I think it's just when women on women, it's a little different, because they trying to figure out who gonna lead at which point. There's no like structure. You know what I mean? So that's the way I see it.
Can I?
Hold on real quick. Let me get to Kim, because I know she hasn't been in opportunity, and then Kennedy next after her. Go ahead, Kim.
I agree with what they're saying about as far as like a man leading and his role in a family, and just the role he plays as far as like in the house. And I definitely understand that. And so I feel like the numbers also, like, it makes sense. Like, women, I feel like that's not how it was designed to be. It wasn't designed for, for us to lead and to make decisions and all that. So for us to have chaotic relationships with each other, I can understand that usually that's what it is. When you get a lot of women together, what do you get? You get a lot of fighting. That's typical. And so I definitely understand that. So, I can see how two women being together in a relationship, how that can actually be very unsuccessful versus, two men. But I definitely understand that. I think that the man definitely has more responsibility because he is supposed to lead. He is supposed to give direction to his family. So I totally agree with that.